Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting the Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Monday as you are listening to the show today. However, we are strolling Strasburg on a Saturday morning, and Olivia Hilton is here with me. She is the, can I say it? Is it official yet?
Interim.
Oh.
Still an interim party down here in Strasburg.
Yes. Well, we're coming up on a new fiscal year, right? So maybe I can...
We are, and our town manager search is shrinking.
That's right.
Yep. So currently interim director of community development, but we will see what happens.
How was I doing that last month? Interim, I hope soon to be permanent, is how I was saying it.
She snuck it in 3 times last month. It was very exciting.
Well, I am very excited. I'm always excited when we get together because we always have so much fun when we're strolling Strasburg. And I was telling you as we were walking into where we are today that I was both embarrassed and ashamed because I had to Google where the Strasburg Visitor Center was because I wasn't exactly sure where we were coming to today. And now I feel even worse that I didn't know this is where it was.
Whatever gets you here, that's all that matters. For shame. And we're what, 6 minutes from your house?
We are literally 5 minutes and about 40 some odd seconds.
Yep.
So tell me about the Visitor Center. Why did you pick this and who are we talking to today?
Yeah, so I'm secretly glad that you didn't know where you were going because you're not alone. A lot of locals are being reintroduced to the Visitor Center. So it's undergone a facelift during Earth Day. We made the outside match the excitement of the inside with our new gift shop here that's just growing and expanding. And of course, we have our museum partner as well. But I will let Linda explain that to you. Linda Wooten is our lead tourism specialist, but our history buff, our tourism guru. She has been here since the beginning of our visitor center.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years in this location. So that should make you feel even worse. But I am just so grateful to have Linda on the team and on staff, and we work together. We all work independently here, and then as a team, just to make the visitor center as wonderful as it's becoming. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say today.
Thank you for the compliments, and thank you all for coming in. I always welcome everyone with a smile. And the second question, where are you all coming from? And it's always exciting to see the many places people travel from all over the country and from all over the world.
Wow. Now, do you keep a record of where people are coming from?
Yes,
so you can
do.
say, oh, we've had 45 people come from Europe and 25 come from California and that kind of thing?
Exactly. We do. A lot in this past year have been from Northern Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania because they just want one-day trip just to get out of the house. And our numbers have really gone up because of that.
What's usually the first question that they ask you?
It depends on the day. What do you have to offer here? Where's a good place to eat? Tell us about the history of the property. Tell us about the battle that took place here. So there are many different questions and many different answers to the questions.
So, Olivia, where are we? So we joked about it a second ago. Linda just touched on it. What is the physical address for the visitor center here?
Sure. A lot of folks might know it as Hupp's Hill, but it's 33229 Old Valley Pike. And we always seem to finish that with across from City National. So if you're coming up into Strasburg, it's before you get to Food Lion. So you'll see it with currently a big brown sign, but we are going to have a big bright sign coming shortly. So, yep, that's us here at Hupp's Hill. We're now changing it to Hupp's Hupp's Hill Park. So instead of just Hupp's Hill Civil War, you'll notice that there's 8 words on the sign out front. So Hupp's Hill Park now includes our walking trails, the visitor center, the museum that we partner with the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation. SVBF, who have other museums throughout the valley.
So, Linda, tell me about some of that stuff. Give me as if I were walking in the door and saying, okay, I've never been here before. What can I do on this property?
Well, first of all, I point out we have a walking trail. It's about 3/4 of a mile. It's a circular loop, and there's placards every couple yards explaining the history, the topography, the karst. There are 2 sinkholes that you can look down into that connect into the caverns that are on our property. Our caverns are not open to the public, but people from the area probably remember them as Crystal Caverns. I think they closed in 2008. The beauty of our caverns, though, they were one of the first used by settlers in the New World. The Native Americans showed the Hupp family the entrance.
Nice.
And the Hupp family used them as a natural refrigerator because caves have that constant 54
ish, yeah.
And also they did something very romantic in the late 1700s. The Hupp family would dress in their fine clothes, go down into caverns with lanterns or candles, and have parties. They called them illuminations. And can you imagine the light of the candles reflecting from the crystal formations? And they were doing that new modern dance at the time, the minuets, But it's just a lot of rich history on this property. And that's just colonial, when we get to Civil War, trenches were here, cannons were set up on our property in what a shape is called a lunette, and the cannons were facing down into the town of Strasburg.
Ah.
And that's just from your walking tour.
And it doesn't cost anything for me
the walking
to
tour, no.
come in and do this walking tour, whether I live here or I'm coming from
California,
Portugal or somewhere.
Exactly. And since the pandemic began, we do not close the gates anymore for people to walk the trails. Especially in the middle of the pandemic, people were desperate to get out and get fresh air. Now, granted, we closed the building at 5, but the grounds are still open for the public.
So how much of this information did you already know when you came here 10 years ago, and how much have you learned and studied and figured out since you've been here?
Well, let's put it this way. When I first began here, I did not know very much about the Battle of Cedar Creek, and that's the main battle here in the valley. So I have learned a lot, and being a former teacher, former librarian, I learn something new every day. And that makes my life, that I can learn something new every day.
Do you see how much she's a gem?
I just love her, yes.
It's free to pick her brain if you call ahead and know what day Linda's working.
So speaking of that, what are your hours here? You mentioned that the building closes, so what are your building hours?
Our building hours are 9 to 5, 7 days a week. We're a certified visitor center for the state of Virginia, and I'm not here all the time, thank God. We have 2 other ladies, Jackie Richard and Cheryl McKelvey, who helped me in this endeavor. The only holidays we close are Christmas Eve, New Year's, and Thanksgiving.
And you don't just need to know a lot about what's going on here on this property. You mentioned a second ago, a lot of times people say, where can I go to eat? What things are there to do in and around here? You really kind of have to be the sentry for all of Strasburg and probably a lot of Shenandoah County.
And that's where my library skills come in, because you have to ask the right questions. What kind of food do you like? Do you like fancy? Do you like a diner style? You don't put your favorite one. You look out for what the person needs.
So we're going to go to break in a second, but the other thing I want to make sure we talk about before we wrap up this segment is this giant orange butterfly that is in the front yard.
Oh, yes.
How did that come to be, and why is it there?
Sure. We somehow are becoming the community of butterflies, which no complaints there. So there are worse things you could be known for. So we had a local Barbara Plitt who started painting butterflies throughout town, and she did about 10, just all over. And they're a solid 4 feet wide. They're they're hefty little butterflies. And so we thought, well, we definitely need one. And Cheryl, mildly obsessed with butterflies, and she has no shame in saying that. She'll actually raise them here. So she has her little boxes she'll bring out and raise monarchs inside. And then she's been pulling milkweed. And so we have a butterfly, and that is actually going to be growing and extending into a monarch way station. So we're actually making a monarch area so that as they travel and head on down to the south. That's called something, isn't it? That is, anyways,
migrate?
Migration, yes. So during the monarch migration, they head on down, and then there's just the little stations they can stop at and eat and rest. And so we'll have that actually being built, a little pollinator
This is like
meadow.
the Appalachian Trail for butterflies.
It is. So it's very precious. So Cheryl's convinced us all that we're all now into it. So so we have our butterfly that was also painted by Barbara and installed by our Public Works Department on Earth Day, and it has been, I think, a highlight of our selfies here lately.
Well,
Yeah,
you
not
know.
just children, but adults. I've had older couples make sure they took their pictures in front of
I discovered it because a dear friend of mine, Amber, who owns a consignment shop over in Winchester, twice as nice, posted on her Instagram a picture of her. And I'm like, where in the world did she see that butterfly? So I'm looking at it and then I'm like, wait, that's like near here. And that's why I was joking with Olivia when we pulled in the parking lot. I said, I have so many wrongs for why this is a good idea today because I didn't know where you were. I didn't know this is where the butterfly was. And yet there was a giant butterfly less than 5 minutes from my house.
It was all meant to be. And it was an orange butterfly.
And it was an orange butterfly. And I just met Linda this past Monday. Of course, people are listening on a Monday, so I guess last Monday to those that are listening at the Faces of Tourism that Carrie Hahn let me participate in at Woodbine Farm Market last Monday. I've decided, so we're going to go to break with this thought. I've decided that I'm going to adopt Shenandoah County as my home county. Because y'all got way more going on than what I got going on in Frederick
We get
County.
good news every time.
I know,
Every stroll in
right?
Strasburg gets better news.
Yeah. So I joke that I'm Shenandoah County adjacent, but I'm Strasburg adjacent.
I love it.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to continue our conversation. We're not going to stroll. We're going to stroll around the gift shop because I want to talk to Linda about some of the really cool things that are here in the gift shop. So can we do that in the next segment?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Olivia Hilton. She is interim, soon to be permanent, I hope. Director of Community Development and Tourism for the town of Strasburg. Linda Wooten is here with us. She is the tourism specialist, as you have learned in the last 10 minutes, for the Strasburg Visitor Center. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Monday as you are listening to the show today. We are pre-recording on a Saturday morning because we are strolling Strasburg, although we literally strolled around the gift shop at the Strasburg Visitor Center. Olivia, we're not doing good at getting our steps in on this particular episode today.
No, and I think we made that joke last time, right? Because we only went from Nancy's to box office. So now we've just made a circle. So yeah, every time we're strolling a little bit less.
We're gonna have to pump it up a little bit by the time we roll back in here for July.
Yeah.
So Olivia Hilton is here with me. She is the interim, soon to be permanent, I hope, Director of Community Development and Tourism for the town of Strasburg. We are at the Strasburg Visitor Center pre-recording our conversation today. Linda Wooten is here. She is the tourism specialist. And let me tell you, we've been talking during the break. We talked a little bit before we started recording. If you want to know anything about Strasburg, Linda is who you want to be best friends with. I am in awe of all of the knowledge and the information that you have, Linda.
Well, Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So we're standing here in the gift shop of the Strasburg Visitor Center, and the first thing that I notice when I walk in the door are all of these brochures and rack cards for, I'm guessing, everything up and down Shenandoah County.
And we spread out a little bit to Frederick and Rockingham. And since we're a state visitor center, we like to represent all areas of the state because locals might come in and say, we're going to Virginia Beach. Can you give me some information? So we're here for visitors, but also locals if they're planning a trip.
And how does somebody get their information in here? Because I know because you're certified, there are certain rules that have to be followed. Just Tom, Dick, and Harry business owner can't come rolling in here and drop some rack cards in this display.
Well, they're welcome to if they want. I mean, I've never turned anyone down, but you don't pay for it to be in here, and we do not highlight one over another. You know, we're very diplomatic. We love all our business people. We love all our tourist spots. And each visitor is different. One person wants all history. Another person wants all nature. One person wants to see all the caverns in the driving area.
Families with kids are looking for fun things to do outside.
I had a couple in from Tidewater who wanted all the wineries in the area.
Oh, they're my kind of people.
Yeah, my kind of people too.
Yeah.
But and that's one of my favorite parts of my job here is connecting the person with what they want.
I thought you were going to say trying all the wineries so that you could properly talk about each one of them, because that would have been my favorite part of the job.
I think that's the next phases of tourism. You guys get to go to Muse, I think.
I think that's
that's
coming up in one of them. Yeah, I think next month is Suzanne's studio over in Woodstock. But then I think Muse is one of those, and I will definitely be at that one. But it is amazing. At the Faces of Tourism, we mentioned earlier about we were there on Monday at Woodbine Farm Market. Cheryl was with you from your team here at the Visitor Center, and she was very proud of all of the really cool local things that people can find. This is something I can come in and shop for, even if I'm not visiting the area.
At Christmas time, we had a lot of locals buying unique Christmas gifts, so we were very happy to have them in.
I love the ironwork.
A.J. Price, I've not had the pleasure of meeting him in person, but I love his eclectic work. I love the metal design, and this is when I wish we had a camera so people could see.
I will take pictures. Olivia and I will put them on Instagram and on Facebook. I'll put them on the show notes page. That way people can feel like they were here.
Yes, exactly. And it's funny because both Cheryl and Linda have the library background. And so I think that's how AJ fell into the visitor center is he made a the caterpillar with a little book with the little glasses on. That's a known librarian symbol, I think. So Cheryl bought that for herself and then made an order for the visitor center. So his work is very interesting.
Yes.
And you have things that most visitors would want when they're coming to visit. I mean, this pottery, which is cool because it's not your standard. You can find it at any Walmart, in any tourist town that you go to. These are locally made pottery mugs that have Strasburg's name on them.
Well, people buy it just for that. And also the artisan, the quality of the works attract people. But on the other hand, this is where Cheryl and Jackie work as a team, choosing the right material and displaying it in a pleasant way. As you see, it's all laid out very bright with lights on the top of the...
It's easy to kind of maneuver yourself all the way around the room and not feel like you're missing something because there's so much. It's very well laid out.
And also, Cheryl has been very good about ordering things for children. A lot of times, a child will come in with their savings, from their piggy bank and want to buy something themselves. So we have $1, $2, $3 items that might not mean anything to us adults, but as a treasure to a child. So we have that capability also.
Now, Olivia, we were joking about this during the break because I said this has your name written all over it. There is a tank top on display that says hike, boat, bike, float. That I feel like that's your life mantra.
It is, and I have no shame in saying that was the first thing I designed when I came to Strasburg.
No, you designed that?
I did. I designed it. I sure did. And then Amber, of course, at Newmarket, loved it, and I said I'm secretly going to copyright it. But so we put it on stickers, tank tops. We have a cool little lime green shirt. But so we came up with that. I love an alliteration. And then we came up with our new camping shirt that's come out too. So
I'm partial to the color of that one.
Of course.
I will say.
Of course.
I call it
Yeah.
cinnamon, but they say it's burnt orange.
Yeah.
Oh, cinnamon
It's, it's
sounds-
all in the orange family. We're all inclusive
Yes.
here at the
All
Strasburg
inclusive here.
Visitor Center.
Absolutely. And that one's actually debuting. Oh, at this point, when folks are listening, it will have been yesterday. But our fish fry float for Father's Day, all of our volunteers are going to be wearing that shirt. So that'll be its debut. So I'm interested to see how the community takes with it. But anything, hiking, boating, biking, floating, all the things feel like it represents our valley so well.
So I can come in, I can learn about all of the things that are going on and places that I can go in and around Strasburg, Shenandoah County, and some of the surrounding counties. I can do a little shopping. I can pick up some books. I can get some jewelry. I'm looking at, Barbara's pottery stuff. There are vintage puzzles.
Candles, handmade soap. That's why it smells so nice in here.
And then the standard Strasburg, Virginia hats and your T-shirts and all that sort of thing. Tell me about this big sign behind you, Linda, that says museum. What's involved with the museum?
Basically, it's a Civil War museum dedicated to the campaign of 1864, when Sheridan was fighting with the Confederate forces under Jubal Early. And we are kind of kissing cousins with Belle Grove, the National Park, Cedar Creek Foundation. The museum here is maintained by the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation, and we have just welcomed them into our midst here in the last year and a half.
It snuck in right before COVID. December of 19. So.
And each place tells the story of 1864 in different ways. National Park does a lot of presentations, lectures. For us here, it's the artifacts. Mr. Mike Kehoe, who's very involved with archaeology in the area, most of this collection is his. Because he grew up on the edge of Cedar Creek Battlefield as a child. So he was relic hunting when he was little. So it makes it special because it is here, it's real, it's our history.
And I like that too, because it's one thing to just sit and watch a presentation that was put together by a national park service, which doesn't, devalue them at all. But it's even more cool to walk through and know this came out of the ground.
Yes.
Probably just steps from where I might be standing or just down the street from, or on the trail that I can walk when I'm here visiting.
Can you walk with me as we
Absolutely.
talk? We're going back in time to the 1860s.
This also might be bigger than you expected to be
Yes,
back then.
I love this. We start our presentation with the farm tools from the 1860s because we were the breadbasket of the Confederate troops, not just grain, but cattle for meat, iron ore, a little bit of everything. But I love it. These are authentic farm tools from that era.
This is I had no idea this was this large.
I know.
We're standing in the front and I'm looking at these double doors that say museum and I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's a cute little place. And oh my Lord, you open up the door and walk in.
And we're always adding to our collection, kind of changing it up. But you're talking about things coming up from the ground even today. This is one of my favorite artifacts in the whole museum, is this candlestick. Again, you can't see it, but this was found about 7 or 8 years ago by a friend of our museum, Mr. Bert Sober. And he had land down by the river here in Strasburg, and he was tilling his spring garden. And his tiller hit this and popped it out of the soil. And it's a brass candle holder with a spike in it, so a soldier could pull it out of his pocket and put it in the ground or a log or whatever.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that, Linda.
Well, it gets better. My story gets better because when he picked it up, it still had the stub of the original
No, it did
candle.
not.
No, it did not.
No, it did
fell
not.
out after he picked it
Was
up,
it a
but-
mummy candle? How does that even
Right?
work?
Well, that shows you the endurance of wax. That just, to me, that tells the story. And that's what our whole museum is, are artifacts that tell a story.
And it's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I love the displays. You've got different places that here's a display on Signal Knob. You've got after Cedar Creek and this mural. Can we just talk for a minute about this mural that runs the full length of this back wall?
I'm taking you to the middle of the museum because I want you to see the full impact of it. This mural was commissioned in 1991 by Mr. Leo Bernstein. I'm sure many people recognize his name, who owned the property at that time. He was opening the museum in July 1st of 1991. He commissioned 2 high school art teachers to paint this mural. It's oil on canvas, and it depicts the war from Fort Sumter in South Carolina all the way to Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox. But there are several scenes that are from our area. For example, the burning is portrayed, Signal Knob is portrayed, Railroad is portrayed, the river is portrayed. So it has a lot of local touches to it. But what makes this extra special is this mural was commissioned to be done in 2 weeks. And these dear ladies did it in 2 weeks.
2 high school art teachers who we grossly undervalue, quite frankly,
That's a good
have did this entire thing in 2 weeks.
We have documentation. Somebody said, well, they probably just got it and somebody had already drawn it in and they just colored it. No, we have documentation that they actually had models, they did the design.
They slept here, they ate here.
Yes.
Hopefully it was the summer season. It wasn't between class.
Well, and when I first saw this mural 10 years ago, I thought it was French Impressionism. That's the kind of design style I thought it was. And one of the artists came and said, I love your French Impressionism. And she started laughing. And she said, Miss Linda, that's hurry-upism. And she went on
Hurry-upism.
2 weeks. So
Now, are those teachers still with us?
they moved away from the area. But they do, both have come to visit since I've been here to see if it's still here. And thankfully, it is still with us.
It is of such beauty and such high quality that you really would think that it is some sort of wallpaper or something that was professionally done. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And then to realize that it was done by local teachers in 2 weeks, it is stunning.
And I really think it makes our museum pop and give it a touch of uniqueness.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
So how much does it cost for people to come and wander around this museum?
$5 a person. Now, we don't give discounts, but if you're 16 and younger, you get in free.
I act like I'm 16 and younger sometimes.
I say in actual age, not at heart.
Now, have you ever had anybody come into the museum, pay their $5, and then hours later thought, I never saw that person leave, and they're still here
Yes.
because they're spending so much time
Yes.
looking at everything?
Well, that's what people ask me. How long does it take to see the museum? And I say, as little or as long as you want. I close at 5. You can stay till 5. So, and there are people who 5 minutes, they're done. And others, like you said, hours, and they're still here.
When we have this space in here too, where
Yes.
they'll watch the movies.
Yes, we have 2 movies that can be requested.
This is so shocking to me when I first found this. I'm like, we have a real little video
A
lecture
little,
hall back here.
yes. Wow.
We show War Comes to the Valley, which is about the 1864 campaign and the burning. And then we have a little fun ghost movie. Our cavern is supposed to be haunted by a Civil War ghost, but I haven't seen him, but I might have heard a few things.
I understand that they were filming a TV episode of a certain ghost show at Hanley Regional Library this week. Or last week as people are listening to this, but I don't know whether I'm allowed yet to say what that TV show is, so I'm not going to say.
I love it.
I found it out by accident on the down low.
On the down low. You always have the inside scoop.
Right?
Yeah, we actually have a really fun event that's being brought here. It's still in the works. It, again, was a COVID replan, but it's a paravation, so it's paranormal and preservation. So it's with Belle Grove, and but I mean, it's a very core group of ghost hunters, Bigfoot
Yes.
people. I mean, and it's interesting, and it's this whole like underground community, and they're going to have it here, and they actually have permission to go in the caverns and some other things.
That
And
is
that's
awesome.
rare.
And that's rare, and it's going to be open to the public, so people can buy tickets and actually do like nighttime in the.
Oh, and I'm
ghost
sure
hunting and
we're going to
stuff.
do a whole nother radio show about that.
Oh, it's got to
aren't
be.
we?
Got to
Yes.
be.
Well, we've got to wrap up this radio show. Linda, tell me again, what is the address and what are your hours here?
33229 Old Valley Pike, across from Citibank.
Yep.
City National.
And we have just put a new mailbox that's in the shape of a bear. So look for our bear.
And right now the sign has the Hupp's Hill sign, but that sign is going away, and a new sign, a new and improved sign is
A new
coming,
and
I
improved
understand.
sign. Yeah, all the new signs are coming in. It's very exciting.
Well, Olivia, we didn't stroll much, but wow. This is information and amazement overload. So good job on choosing the Strasburg Visitor Center.
I love it. I'm a little biased, but I'm glad we could we could have you out here today.
I'll be back tomorrow. It is Tourism Tuesday, Winchester Frederick County edition. Justin Kearns is joining me along with Mayor Charles Harbaugh from Middletown, which used to be my hometown, but now Strasburg's going to be my hometown. So Charles is going to tell us all about the July 4th activities. Justin tells us about some of the other events that are happening in and around Winchester Frederick County. Meet me back here for that just a few minutes after noon.